What is your favorite thing about being Italiano?
Being Italian, we're unique people. We're very family oriented, at least we are. Italian people, for the most part, are family oriented. They're close knit. They stick together. They defend each other, right or wrong or in between. They're always there to defend you, and it's always proud to be an Italian. A lot of people wish they were Italian because they see the way the Italian people and their families live and get together, which is a plus. You don't see that in a lot of other nationalities, as well as the happy Italian people.
And the delicious food.
And I must add, the Italian language is like a musical song. Whereas, God forgive me, the German people, when they talk, everything, and the Italian language is very melodic, soft, and kind, and musical to your ears. Even if you don't understand an Italian person, just listening to an Italian person speak the real Italian language is really a joy to behold.
And the Italian food is good.
And Italian food goes beyond, that goes beyond anything else.
If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
My first wish would be good health, good family relations, and the third one, well, if you got your health, you got your wealth. And having a good family and everybody's happy and doing well, you kind of be proud that you've accomplished something in life besides just growing up.
Yeah, it's beautiful. If you could have dinner with one celebrity, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, gee whiz, that would be a tough one. But I would have to say I would love to be around in Jesus Christ's time. And watch how he did things and his followings. It must have been remarkable times when Jesus Christ was growing up until they crucified him. I would love to have dinner with that man, or God's son. That's about it. It's the most important person I would love to have dinner with. I'd ask him an awful lot of questions.
I think we all would, right?
Yeah.
What is one of the highest honors or awards you have received?
Forgot about this one. One day I was working in the stores, and one of the supervisors came in and said, "Charlie, you're the kind of guy that's going to be in charge of just good operations in a store. And to make, if there was anything wrong, it was my job to find out what it was and correct it. And for all my endeavors of trying to run a store and run the store a good operation, because I was only at that time a department manager, I received a watch from the company thanking me for all my efforts to run a clean store operation."
Do you have that watch still today?
No. It's a long time ago.
Oh, I'm sure you deserved it.
You know, thinking back, yeah, we made fun of that watch. Uncle Pete would always, "Oh, remember Charlie got the watch for being supervisor at the store?" We laughed about it for years. No, the watch got old like everything else.
How should a person prepare for old age?
That's a tough one. We also use an example. You can't be a sissy to get old. That's so important. You really can't be a sissy to get old. You gotta persevere, try to take care of yourself, exercise, diet, and do the best yourself to keep your health and keep everything moving. Because as you get older, people have arthritis and they have a sore shoulder, or their legs hurt, or they have other kinds of problems. And just to maintain good health and try to live a good life.
Do you believe everyone has a purpose?
I would say yes. Nobody knows what their purpose is. Some of them they know early on what their purpose is in life. Other people don't know and just kind of drift into it. But I'll give you a perfect example. When I got discharged out of the Navy, I wanted to be a commercial photographer. I always liked photography. I went to visit, before I went in the Navy, I worked in a superette. And one day, after I was home for several months, I decided to go visit the store where I used to work as a youngster. I introduced myself, and I told him I used to work in this store as a delivery boy. And it was a fruit and vegetable department that he had. He said, "Oh, you used to work here? I want to sell this business." And I went home, we had dinner with my mother, my father, and the family. And my brother at the time was working for the A&P supermarket in produce. And I said, and I told him while we were sitting at the dinner table that the store where I used to work for, the guy wants to sell the produce division of the store. And my father was very quick to say to my brother, "You got to go give it a chance." My father always believed in being self-employed because you're always working with people and with money rather than have a 9-to-5 job. So we called up my cousin Charlie Leone, because he was a department manager for the A&P at the time. And we went to the store. Introduced everybody to my father and my brother, who the man was selling the business. And we agreed on a price. My father paid him for the amount of merchandise that was on a stand. The only thing he wanted to take with him was the cash register. So the next morning we opened up the department as Charlie and Joe's Produce Market, and I had a cigar box for a cash register. That's how we started in business. When I told my father that I wanted to go to photography school and become a commercial photographer, he said, "First you help your brother get started in business, and then you can go to school." Well, when Joe and I started in business, we were two young kids. I was 20, my brother was 18, and we were making a nice profit on the merchandise that we were selling. And I said, "This is good. I think I'll stay in the produce and fish business." And that's my whole career path was in produce operations.
A produce purpose.
What?
A produce purpose.
A fruit and vegetable produce purpose.
Yeah.
Correct.
What brings you joy?
Seeing a happy family.
If the world was ending tomorrow, what would you say to your family?
"I really love you all." I would say it all. After love, what's left?
If you have the opportunity to leave a legacy, what would that legacy be?
People were proud to know me. People would say he was a good guy. People would say he was a good family man. I would like to think that everybody would say, "We're really going to miss that person." That says it all. Because if you're not missed, then you wasn't much to start with. So that's my opinion of leaving a legacy where people remember you as a person that they're happy that they knew.
I'm happy to know you.
I thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
That was my last question. Is there anything you would like to add?
The only thing I'd like to add is peace in the world. Generally, that's an easy question to answer. Peace in the world. Everybody should get along with one another. And if you're happy and you're healthy, you got it all. And be happy in what you're doing. I always tell people, you got to do, when you're in the working world, you got to do what you enjoy. Because if you got to get up in the morning and say, "Oh, I hate that place, can't stand it anymore," that's a terrible way to get up every morning and go to work and hate what you're doing. But if you enjoy what you're doing, it's such a joy to really feel like you accomplished things. Like, for example, in the produce department, there are always challenges of how to make displays. And I used to kid, when I was a department manager, I used to kid the grocery manager. I says, what can you do with Kellogg's cornflakes? No big deal. But we used to build, in the produce department, we used to build massive displays. One year we displayed oranges like they were coming out of a truck, the way we set it all up. We sold so many oranges that week that the people from, the Sunkist people from California couldn't believe it. They sent a representative to my store, and I had to show them the ordering book of this is what I ordered and this is what we sold. They couldn't believe that one store can sell so many oranges.
Wow.
But it's all in the way it was displayed. You can't do that with Kellogg's cornflakes again. No big deal, it's a box of cornflakes. What can you do with the Kellogg's cornflakes? That's about it, actually.
Well, thank you. So,
You're very
such an
welcome.
honor, and I'm so blessed to be your grandchild.
And I feel blessed to have you as my granddaughter, and I wish you all the best on your journey through life.
Thank you. I'll give you a hug and a kiss. Thank you.
I love you.
Love you.
You take care.
You too.
I wish you
And
all
thumbs up.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Dana, take care.
Thanks.
You know, before you close that out, when Nicholas was going to Annunciation Catholic, he had to interview me. It's on record? Mm-hmm. Okay, he had to interview me. And he said, Grandpa, were you born during the Great Depression? I said, I certainly was. Can I interview you? I said, sure. So he says, can you tell me some stories about how it was when you were growing up in the Great Depression? And I told him the truth. I told him all the things that I went through growing up during the Depression. And I says, Nicholas, you saved that tape because my voice is on it, and you'll remember Grandpa as it was when he was a kid. We got all done. He shut off the recorder. He comes over to me. He says, gives me one of these with his elbow. And he says, how many of those stories did you make up? Because when you talk to somebody that didn't go through what I went through as a child, a person today says, I made those stories up. It can't be true. And I told him, all those things I told you, Nicholas, are true. And you keep that tape. And remember, that's my voice on that tape. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing that I think back. And the same thing with this tape. I hope you keep it and preserve it and look back and say, yeah, that was Grandpa, that was him. I wish you all the best.